Hello. How are you? It is Sean Ferrick here from WhoCulture, and I am joined by the wonderful, stunning, and often, I have just discovered, Welsh Ellie Littlechild. How are you? How are you getting on? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm very excited about this year. We've just been having a little discussion before we started recording. We just got very excited.
We really did. We're just like, we're now in the same year as the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. Yeah! How does it feel knowing, Ellie, that you're in a 60th anniversary year?
A little bit unbelievable, really. Although I was here for the 50th anniversary year as well, so, don't know quite what you're insinuating there.
Oh, just, old as the hills. But it's fine. It's fine. We are, so as you probably have guessed by this, first of all, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you very much for just being awesome and lovely. We hope you had a lovely Christmas, lovely New Year's. If you celebrated, if you didn't, that's cool as well. Everyone is welcome here. So this is going to be our news discussion video because while that whole big lovely Christmas thing was happening, Russell T Davies came along and was like, hey, how's it going? Here's a trailer for the 60th. And minds were blown. We're talking Donna seeing the Doctor again. Minds were kind of blown. We have a breakdown trailer that's out there, but that was me on my own. I felt really lonely. I wanted to go through this with Ellie.
I mean, I did give a little bit of a contribution.
That is very true.
When they drop a trailer on us in the middle of Christmas without any warning whatsoever, then how are us lovely presenters supposed to just drop everything?
Just before we go on with all of our news and everything, just remember, folks, that you can catch all sort of news breakdowns and longer form podcasts as well. You can catch them on things like Spotify. We got Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. All videos will drop here exclusively first on YouTube, and we will go through any bits of news or whatever that comes out as it goes. So, we're going to go into the discussion about the 60th trailer, everything. But first, we have, I know you've been waiting for it. It's the TARDIS Tidbits.
TARDIS Tidbits!
Let us talk about what we have first, which is the Mirror has dropped a teaser that we might be getting 2 new animated versions of classic lost Doctor Who stories. So they are the William Hartnell story, The Smugglers, and the Patrick Troughton story, The Underwater Menace. So The Smugglers is, so far, all of those episodes are actually currently, they're in the ether, they're gone, and 2 out of the serial for the Underwater Menace have gone. So we've seen it in the past, for example, like the one with the Macra. The actual title completely escapes me. Anyway, the Macra Terror was restored with animation, which was gorgeous. I mean, I love this. I know, Ellie, you're a massive classic Who fan, so this is huge news to you, right?
It's brilliant. Actually, to be fair, no, it is. I think even just bringing some of those older stories into a newer format could, in theory, bring in a new audience for them.
No, I hear you, because I remember when I first heard things like this happening, and I've seen, like, fans have done colorized versions of Classic Who, and I remember being like, oh, I don't know how this looks. I like having the option, put it that way. I think it's fantastic that they're doing it, but doesn't mean that the old black and white versions are going to disappear either. Because I remember the first teaser for the Day of the Doctor, it was somewhere between CGI and restored colorized photos of Hartnell and Troughton that kind of led it. It was like that. Oh, I'm describing this really badly. It was like the camera panning through all of the Doctors in various like snapshots from their adventures. Do you remember this one I'm talking about?
No, I do remember, but I'm just thinking that hopefully the wonderful Danny has found that. And so rather than us trying to explain it really poorly, you'll actually be able to see it on the screen right now.
Absolutely. Danny, you are so welcome for us giving you this extra work to do. I must say, so last year, BBC actually pulled out of funding these animations. So the fact that we're getting more, touch wood, is a great thing. I do say this with love and respect. The source, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, because when we see an official announcement is when we can be like, properly, yes, this is 100% coming. For the moment, we're really, really hopeful. So yeah, hopefully now. Okay, so that is that one. Ellie, what do you have next first?
Tidbit number 2. Filming has resumed for Ncuti Gatwa's series. It's resumed in Cardiff, and we had a few set pictures leaked in the last couple of days. I'm just going to find the name. So it was a campaign office for Roger Gwilliam. And I'm so glad that I managed to say that without butchering a Welsh accent, but I believe that that is a Welsh name. As Twitter has suggested, that is a Welsh name. The slogan for him is bigger, better, bolder Britain. So it's kind of like a hark back to kind of Harold Saxon, potentially. There's been a lot of things about how obviously Russell T Davies doesn't shy away from doing political stories if you watch Years and Years. So there's kind of like always Years and Years meeting Doctor Who. But very interesting is the company or the party, I'm not sure, but there's the word Albion, and the logo for that company, somebody on Twitter very, very cleverly spotted, is the same logo that's seen on a gas mask worn by Harold Saxon in The Sound of Drums when he kind of gasses all of the ministers in Downing Street. Does that mean something that these two logos are connected to a political figure?
I think, I know we were talking about this already. I think Russell T is the king of callbacks and connections, right? Wild statement. I don't think we're going to get the Master again.
No.
I absolutely think that they are connected. And look, we were talking before as well. It could be anything to do with maybe that cult of Saxon, the one that effectively brought the Harold Saxon back, kind of turned him into a sort of a Skeletor Eminem. But that's Eminem the rapper, not Eminem the sweet.
Yeah, there's been a kind of a little bit of suggestion that this could be like a political figure who was influenced by Harold Saxon, a bit of a fanatic who's kind of wants to take what Harold Saxon started and continue it himself, or who knows? Honestly, all we've had is those two pictures, but you know that Who fans can take the smallest little hint and run with it and come up with all sorts of speculations and theories about it. So I guess
Absolutely.
Time will tell.
Yeah, and one of so you were saying as well, like, you know, kind of some of the incredible work that is being done on Doctor Who Twitter, amazing. For it's a relatively small community online. I say relative because jeepers, Twitter's its own thing. We'll get back to that. But there is one thing. There was a few people in the trailer for the 60th. There is a scene that's clearly being played for comedy where it looks like Donna is seeing the 14th Doctor. So we all know, this could lead to, and she shouts out "skinny man." I personally went, oh, cool. You know, that's all of the references to David Tennant being skinny. You get it all through their time together. You also get it Day of the Doctor. Matt Smith says, "Oh wow, you really are skinny." It seems that some people weren't very happy that he was identified as skinny man, and I will say I was left scratching my head a little bit about that one.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I think the thing is that in this particular reference, it's not something new. Like you said, it's a hark back to the relationship that the Doctor and Donna have had in previous times. It's a familiar kind of reference between those two characters. Obviously, if it was two complete strangers and you just walk past someone in the street, well, I don't know why you would shout that out to someone in the street, but then perhaps, and that maybe the argument by some fans is that in this particular moment, Donna doesn't know who the Doctor is and therefore is referring to this stranger in that way. But I mean, personally, I didn't see it as an offensive thing.
I'm understanding, and I think you made a perfect point there, because even although yes, this is the 14th Doctor, it's David Tennant. You know, Donna's going to recognize the face. You know, she probably knows those teeth too. That's a whole other conversation. But I think definitely the point is, you know, let's no one shout at strangers on the street. These two are not strangers.
No,
they might be, but they're not in the context of the show. So, I guess what I'm saying is that I took from this being in the context of the Doctor and Donna. I thought that this was just more of an Easter egg, a harken back, rather than anything else.
It was followed by my most favorite part of the entire trailer, which was Sylvia going, "No, he's not there. You can't see him," and him like ducking behind her. I mean, it's ridiculous and silly, but also it's just classic series 4.
Right, okay, so the trailer itself. So, completely plugging myself here. Yes, there is a whole trailer breakdown video where we go through it in detail. So have a check at that. But I thought, like, for this one, like, there's so much I want to talk to you about. Rose.
Rose is there. Yep, that's a thing.
So, some people are just like, no, she's in the other universe. No, we mean Yasmin Finney's Rose.
Yeah.
Who is, I am taking from this trailer confirmation that Rose is Donna and Sean's daughter. I'm getting that from this trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's one of those rumors that kind of actually spawned from one of those set leaks that people kind of took with a pinch of salt to start with, and then slowly think more and more things got proven to be right. And so then everyone just assumes that everything else on that list was right and true. So I keep kind of forgetting that we don't have confirmation of that. But I feel like this trailer has kind of confirmed that. I
think so, because there is that. I think there's a split-second shot of Sean, Sylvia, and Rose anyway are in like a burning building or a burning set. So, I mean, either it's a heck of a coincidence that she's just kind of walking by going, oh, I think I'll hop in the fire with them. Or I reckon this is a family scene.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So, you reckon Miriam Margolyes is covered in hair?
Yes. I think, again, more rumors that just kind of get spawned and then people just run with them. But at some point last year, there was this rumor that Miriam Margolyes was going to be involved. I've seen some speculation that actually she might not be involved necessarily with the 60th and might actually be a relation of Ruby Sunday later on. Grandmother, perhaps. I don't know. Or there's also been, since obviously Beep the Meep has been revealed in the trailer, the idea that Miriam Margolyes will be voicing the character of Beep the Meep.
I think she has such a distinctive voice that I would be so here for that. Because some people, like, she's an incredible actor anyway, but some people are just like, oh, do voice acting. Oh, do it. You have the voice for it. However, anything Welsh ever, you're going to voice for me going forward. But
don't say that, because now everyone's going to want me to do a Welsh accent, and I don't want to offend anyone by trying it. But in the trailer, I mean, I know it's not the case, but maybe kind of more to do with the way that Beep the Meep looks. But when Beep the Meep said the line that he said, I can't remember what he said, it sounded very much like Dobby to me, which isn't Miriam Margolyes. However, we know that Dobby was voiced by Toby Jones, who has already been involved in Doctor Who as the Dream Lord. So unless Neil Patrick Harris is the Dream Lord and we've just found some really weird connection here.
That would be hilarious. I think if you trace it far enough, everyone, like, you know what you do that game, 6 degrees of separation in the Doctor Who world. There's 2 degrees of separation. Like, this person is this person, not even related to.
I love playing that game.
I love playing that game so much, especially with Doctor Who, because you're going to win. Beep the Meep is quite funny. Look, hilarious, because I broke this down in the other trailer, but just really quickly, Beep the Meep appears in Doctor Who Weekly Comics. So just in case, because we didn't to do it, like, I'm not gonna say, oh, Beep, surely Beep, Ellie, right? Yeah.
No, we had no idea.
Appeared in Doctor Who Weekly Comics. These Meep, they're little kind of cute things, homicidal maniacs. Beep the Meep.
Gremlins.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Although the hairy ones are Mogwai, Ellie. Oh my god. Just saying. Only because I've just rewatched Gremlins 2. But yeah, and then they are being chased by right, okay, we're gonna try and get this right. Rarth. Terrifying, like bug-like soldier creatures sent by Star Council. Yep. To hunt down these homicidal Meep. But they seem to be quite ruthless. So you see Unit are fighting the Rarth. Seamless. And yeah, so it looks like there's going to be, typical Russell D. Davies style epic battle on the streets of the UK.
I'll tell you what is really good here. You've just helped me very nicely lead into some notes that I'd made. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
First of all, by having Beep the Meep and the Rarth, Russell T Davies has been quite clever here, and he did the same when he came back in 2005, or came back, he brought it back in 2005 by returning with a creature who is familiar to some fans, definitely the diehard fans who have read those strips and know of Beep the Meep and the Rarth. I can't do it without doing this now. But also isn't so well known and so well documented that it alienates a new audience or just the casual viewer. I mean, as we've said, we didn't know who these creatures were, and I mean, we know quite a lot about Doctor Who. So and then he did the same when he came with Rose. He had the Autons, who, to classic Who fans, they were familiar with the Autons, but for children who were just starting to watch it in the revival, or people who hadn't watched the classic series, to them they were these terrifying shop mannequins who were very relatable to anyone, regardless of whether they were an existing monster or not. I think that's really clever of him to kind of appeal to an old audience, a familiar audience, and to appeal to a new audience without alienating them. And I think that's a really clever thing that he's done there.
Definitely. Like you say, it's just like it's a come join the fun, no matter how old you are.
Yeah.
Which
no matter what your knowledge is of the series beforehand, which I think is a little bit of what they tried to do when Jodie Whittaker's Doctor took over. But instead of kind of keeping those connections, they wanted a clean break. And it was kind of like, here's a new thing that's going to appeal to a new audience. But it kind of forgot about those existing ones a little bit.
There was, I think that's something that we've noted before, that there is, we get there, but for a while there was like,
we've spoken about it a lot, balance. There's just not quite the right balance, whereas I feel like perhaps now there will be a bit more of that balance between appealing to the ones that already exist and the new ones that are coming in now.
I think so.
And on that note, we were also just discussing before we started recording, you were just saying about how this destruction with units taking place just on the streets in the UK. I've noticed watching this trailer, and I don't know whether that's just because of the scenes we've seen so far, but Russell T Davies does like he kind of favors the more practical effects and sets and proper locations. I think in the previous seasons, we've seen a lot of use of visual effects, a lot of green screen and CGI. And I mean, I don't know if it's because I grew up watching series, the revival, but particularly the David Tennant eras, where it was kind of a lower budget and therefore it was much more practical effects because that was what they could afford to do. But that feels more real to me than a really elaborate CGI planet.
I agree. It's like, it's the double-edged sword of the success. There is another franchise that I'm quite a fan of, but you see it a lot with that as well. Like, there's, undoubtedly this incredible advancement in computer technology where you can make these amazing vistas and everything. And although it has now got to a stage where it does look, bloody good, I do sometimes miss the fact that, it's a styrofoam brick falling off the wall.
And obviously we have progressed from the 60s where it was styrofoam and cardboard cutouts. But you don't necessarily need to go full on computer generated for it to look impressive anymore. I mean, you've seen that just with like the creation of the Daleks, for example, or the creatures and things. You don't need them to be computer generated to be terrifying.
Exactly. As you say, those salt shakers were terrifying in the 1960s. They are still scary as today.
Yeah, I think the thing we were saying as well is that obviously as the series have gone on, the budget has got bigger. But sometimes I think productions think that if they've got a bigger budget, they should really push up the cinematic kind of CGI and all of those things that they can now afford to do. But that doesn't necessarily make it better. Is that kind of old? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Let's slash the budget. Let's go back to having 60 quid a season. You know, sure, look, didn't it survive for nearly 40 years before the break with that as well? Sure, 20 years. Oh, I'm not good at maths. Anyway, right. Okay, cool. But no, yeah, I think, yeah, makes perfect sense. Will we see, now very, very quickly as well, I think in terms of the trailer, the two last things we really need to talk about are Neil Patrick Harris. So again, I mean, gosh, I've made such a secret of the fact I believe he is the Celestial Toymaker. But again, some eagle-eyed Twitter folk have spotted that he is wearing an outfit that it seems to be lifted directly from the Celestial Toymaker cereal. Now, this was actually caught by Richard Lloyd. Thank you very much, Richard, who spots that as Neil Patrick Harris is throwing petals, but doing an American Beauty at the camera. He is wearing, it seems to be like a ringleader, like a circus master's type uniform. And that is one of the characters from the Celestial Toymaker cereal is wearing almost exactly the same clothing as well.
I really like this kind of showman appeal of the character. I really like these references to familiar films. You know, you've got what the showman in itself to a new audience. You know, you've got The Greatest Showman. You've just got all of these kind of references that I really like there. I mean, it may not be relevant at all, but knowing what Neil Patrick Harris is like as well, I've seen a lot of a couple of comments on Twitter suggesting, are we going to get our first Doctor Who musical moment? Because why would you not use Neil Patrick Harris if you've got him and you've got this character who seems to be this kind of over-the-top showman on a stage? Why would you not make use of that, even if it's in some sort of comedic way? They've kind of missed a trick by not doing that yet.
I think like it's Doctor Who can be bonkers enough that it is the exact show where you could do that and it not be, you know, I know there was a whole thing, about 15 years ago now, where everyone did a musical episode.
Yeah.
And some did it brilliantly, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Well, I was just going to say, let's go Doctor Who's version of Once More with Feeling.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Some didn't do it that well, Grey's Anatomy. But yeah, it's fine, it's fine. So that, I think, only lends more, I think, evidence to the return of the Celestial Toymaker.
And the final thing that we kind of need to mention, really, again, is that we get this great trailer with all these new scenes and this new excitement. And we do get Ncuti Gatwa in that trailer, but it is the exact same clip that we have seen of him for every other trailer that was seen so far.
Yep. And it is, we were laughing going like, it's one of two things. It's either, well, I think that anything that we show beyond that is a spoiler. And Russell T has basically confirmed that himself, that, like, you know, anything else. It's like, I think every trailer for Avengers Endgame comes from the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, for fear of spoiling anything.
Exactly. So
and we do know that obviously that background is fake in that clip. But the other theory could be that he's actually not in it very much at all, but they want to kind of appeal to the audience, draw in that audience by using the one moment that he is involved in the trailer to kind of go, look, we've got the new Doctor in it too, even if he only appears in the last 5 minutes. I'm hoping that that's not the case. I'm hoping that it's more to do with the fact that he's involved quite heavily, but it's obviously a massive spoiler to reveal any more of it.
I'd love him to be in the cold open. I'd love that to be the case. And like, it's literally, he's there, you know, whatever way the future incarnations of the Doctor sit waiting on the edge of existence, and he's standing up, okay, get my coat on, yeah, I'm ready to go.
My time.
And then you have David Tennant shoves him out the way going, sorry buddy, I've got to take this, Russell T needs me. What the hell is going on here?
Cut to the titles.
Cut to the titles, and we don't see him again until season 14.
Yeah. Which then, to be fair, could prove both our theories there. It's a massive spoiler, but he's only in the first 5 minutes.
And every time the 14th Doctor walks past a mirror, he sees Ncuti and then punches himself in the face. I've gone off the walls. Any of this turns up in the specials, Russell, and I'm having a word. I want credit, if any.
Honestly, they need to hire us as writers.
I'm telling you, right? You want the silly back in Doctor Who? We can put the silly back in Doctor Who.
No, I can do a Welsh accent and a great dance.
There you go. I'll do the dance if you do the accent.
Oh, nice try.
I tried. Everyone, I tried. Let us see, before we go, let's see what the community has to say. So thank you, everyone who was putting up comments on the community post. Ellie, do you have any for us there?
I do. I just got to find them. Stephen Legresley. I think it's a return to form for the types of trailers we used to get. I think it does what a good trailer should do. Give us a feel for the show's future without spoiling the details.
Yeah, spot
Absolutely.
On. Totally agree. Love all of those trailers from, God, it seems like so long ago, but they were so crash bang wallop and also quite misleading as well, which I really like. And also, I have not forgotten that they were very misleading trailers in the past as well. Turns out David Tennant's not in any of these episodes.
It was all a lie.
Yeah. Alex Mueller makes a very, very good point. What if the Doctor somehow manages to use the fob watch to store the Time Lord part of Donna's mind? That way she can communicate with him without her mind exploding as she is fully human again, which I think, brilliant.
I really like that theory. Yeah. That's really good. There's also been some sort of theories as to the part of the Doctor transferring into Rose as well, hasn't there? A little bit through the womb and has passed on from Donna to Rose. I mean, that would be a bit weird, but
it is. But we know that Time Lord's essence or whatever works strangely. The entire creation of River, So, but look, that's a whole other video. Wink, wink. If you'd like to hear us talk about that, let us know in the comments. But we should probably wrap it up for now. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Happy New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Happy 60th year of Doctor Who. She's like, oh my god, I remember 10 minutes ago when it was the 50th. But yeah,
right?
Yeah, it feels like last week.
It does. Oh god.
Oh my goodness. All right. Everyone, follow us on all the various socials. You're wonderful. Thank you so much. Ellie, anything you want to say to these lovely people?
Just have a brilliant 2023. If you had some issues in 2022, put them behind you. It's a new year. New year, new you. I know I'm going to live by that mantra this year, so let's have a brilliant 2023.
Absolutely. Let's make it fantastic.
I'll see what you did there.
All right, everyone is wonderful. Keep it wibbly wobbly.